Hashtag Gospel with Steff
and Morgz.
Headline.
Headline. Headline.
Headline.
Headline news whenever you news.
Headline news when you Super Steff Mogrz are playing. It's me.
And it's Morgz.
Hashtag Gospel's now what you're listening to. 99.9 FM, 88.7 FM WEHA. It's time for the headline news. What you got over there, Morgz?
Well, first and foremost, I'm thankful for my great sleep on last night. Just thankful.
Yes, Jesus.
But anyway,
hallelujah.
So FYI channel, which is derived from A&E Network, has a new series. It's a reality show, and it's called Married at First Sight. Now, I'm sure you've heard of Love at First Sight, but this is Married at First Sight, and it's literally what you just heard. So the people do not meet until they're at the altar. Don't even know each other's names, nothing. It's a social experiment that's happening, and people that are having a hard time finding love are signing up for this, and they have a sociologist, a sexologist, a clinical psychologist, a spiritual advisor, which I'm not sure what that means, but he's a chaplain at Harvard University. I have to, dig more deeper into what a chaplain means as well. But he's a spiritual advisor, and so they have a lot of people that had their degrees and whatnot, and they are putting these people together, and they do not meet until the wedding day. And I just watched the first episode, which was an hour and a half, and a lot of emotions were running through my body because I don't know how to feel.
Okay, first of all, this is not the Old Testament. This is not Numbers. This is not Genesis even. We do not have these blind weddings. I heard of blind dates, but blind weddings, this is absolutely disrespectful. What is going on with these people today?
Yes, I don't know how to feel about that, but the one girl on the first episode, this is a spoiler alert, so cover your ears if you whatever. But this one girl was not happy with what she saw when she walked down the aisle. I felt horrible.
I mean, but did she go through with the wedding?
I think so.
She had to?
You don't have to. What happens is you stay married for 4 weeks and you try to work it out. If they will provide you with like a divorce or whatever.
Is this like a game now? Or
it's a social experiment, and I feel like it's kind of playing God a little bit. It's kind of teetering on that,
This is ridiculous.
Like, what are you doing? So I don't know I would never go on the show. You feel me? Like, I want to do it the natural way.
I don't even know what to say to that. Like,
yeah. But Steff,
Jesus.
You should watch the first. It's on demand, and I'm sure it'll be coming on again if you don't want to look at it on demand. But I want to know your thoughts about it because I have a lot. I love weddings. I love love. Like, I love seeing people fall in love, and I just think it's a beautiful thing. But so hopefully it works between all of them because it's devastating if she doesn't want to be with him because she wasn't happy with what she saw. Like. He even said himself, he's like, I know I'm not the most attractive person on earth before that even happened. But in her, I don't know.
Well, first of all, as far as that goes, there's somebody for everybody.
Right.
So why would you even sell yourself short, sir?
Right.
Who refers to yourself as not the most attractive guy? Because to somebody, you're like the finest brother in the room.
And to me, I don't think anybody's ugly. And I don't think anybody has the right to call anybody ugly because you didn't make them. Like, what?
I mean, I don't know. I was about to say something real ignorant.
Yeah, I know it.
I'm not going to do it.
Anyway, what do you have over there?
I want to give a big shout out to everybody on Facebook who like to debate with me because as you learned, if you saw the video with me debating playmakers after our big event.
He can stand alone.
I can stand alone because I debated the playmakers for a good half hour about that Spider-Man movie. All three of them. I didn't even care. So, that being said, there was this big stink that was made about a Sunday Best contestant. Sunday Best is the contest on BET that are judged by three or four gospel music artists. Most of them are gospel legends. And this year, it's judged by Yolanda Adams, Kiara Sheard, Donnie McClurkin, and Kim Burrell. And it's hosted by Kirk Franklin. And they look for someone to give a record deal to and send around the country. They've had 6 seasons, and this is the 7th season. And of course, now the new season has started, and so they're showing the auditions once again, just like they would with American Idol and so on and so forth. And so this year, there is one young man who actually kind of stood up to the judges when they were making fun of him.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. That was the perception that he had when he got up there and he was singing, and he was okay when he was singing. Well, they were paying attention to him, the judges, that is. And when he got done, one judge started to talk to him and critique him. That was Kierra Sheard. And while Kierra Sheard was critiquing the young man, Donnie McClurkin and Kim Burrell, who were sitting right next to each other, began to laugh and joke amongst themselves about something. And we don't know what it was. And
but what it appeared to be was him.
Yeah. And so I have a clip. That's what I set up the clip. And so this is what happens when they start to laugh. Donnie McClurkin and Kim Burrell, they start laughing at him. They start laughing while they're sitting at the table and while Kierra Sheard is critiquing the guy. And this is what the guy says. Okay, so check out the clip. Check it out.
Can I say something? Kim Burrell. Yes. I want to let y'all know this. I think it is very rude and disrespectful for y'all to be up here laughing like that, because I use my rent money and everything, and for y'all to be sitting up here disrespectful like that and laughing, that is so wrong.
Okay, if I told the truth, I made my decision while you were singing, and the laughter was not toward you. Okay, you had the attention of the person who was talking to you. That's where your attention should have been.
And she tried to. I've been stopped liking you since last year when you told me knowing you wasn't even listening. Kierra, I love you. Donnie, I love you too. Yolanda, I love you. The reason why I came back is because of the simple fact you told me I like your voice. I'm looking very forward to seeing you next year. God is with you. You are anointed, and because of you is the reason why I came back.
I heard some things in your voice that are really, really good. Make sure you audition next year.
People get nervous and stuff, but I'm letting y'all know I'm Dennis Christopher Brigham, and I'm going to be somebody, and this not going to stop me.
Dennis, hold on. I understand you're upset.
But y'all, that's disrespectful.
Don't do it like this, because nobody was disrespecting you. We're laughing about ourselves.
We have relationships.
I understand that you're nervous. Listen to me.
Well, y'all need to take care of that for real. Kierra, I love you. You are my number one singer. From the safest place, I watched you grow up.
I'm trying to talk to you.
You are a beautiful singer. And thank you so much, Yolanda. I ain't got to hear nothing else, because y'all are so rude and disrespectful. Somebody understand what I'm saying. Y'all have a blessed day. I love you, Kierra. Remember my face. You'll see me again.
So... okay, so that was the clip, and I'm laughing right now because, you know, the way the guy was going in, it was, after a while, it got kind of funny to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I posted the video on Facebook. I didn't even say anything. I just posted it on Facebook, and somebody made a comment under the post saying, yeah, that's right. You know, they got what they deserved, basically. I'm so glad that someone finally put them in their place, yada, yada, yada. So I replied back to them saying, and I think it was, hold on. I'm looking at them right. I want to give shout outs to the people who talk to me on Facebook. Okay. So I want to give a shout out to Jeremy King. A shout out to Kenyetta Pierre. She just said LOL. But Jeremy King started off the whole conversation saying, to be honest, he spoke the truth. Not of Kim Burrell's character, but they should have given him more respect than they did. No, he wasn't the best, but he did try. And respect in any form of ministry is necessary. So I replied to him and saying, but my thing is, Sunday Best isn't necessarily a ministry, it's show business, and the ignorance he received is very normal, and he should have had thicker skin, in my opinion. So Jeremy, what's his name? Jeremy King responded to me, and then Tina J responded to me, and Dawn Booker responded to me, and Tyree Awkward responded to me. All these people disagreed with my stance, and I'm going to tell you my stance in a second, but I want to tell you what their stance was. Their stance was that they got what they deserved. As far as the judges are concerned, they felt like he was justified in what he said to the judges. They felt like they needed to hear what he said, the way he said it, and everything like that, and they applauded him. I did not applaud him. This is my view. I said, number one, He needs to have thicker skin than that, because this is show business. Yes, it's Sunday best, and yes, it's supposed to be ministry, but at the end of the day, it's called the gospel music industry, which means it's an industry, which means that you're going to come up against critiques. You're going to come up against ignorance. If you can't handle one person sitting at the judge booth laughing, how can you handle the Apollo stage? You know what I mean? How can you handle going into a record company and singing for the CEO in his room trying to get a record deal, and he's not really clapping or smiling at you? He's sipping coffee and listening and reading his paper while he's listening. And what are you going to do? Stop him and say, "Oh, you're ignorant"? No.
You know what? But I think I did applaud him when it happened. When I watched it, but listening when we had talked about it, I definitely retract my applaud, I would say, because what he was saying might have been valid, but the delivery was all wrong. It's just like this. You may have the best pizza in the world, but if your truck is mad dirty and stuff, I'm not saying the boy was dirty, nothing like that. I'm just giving an analogy. If your truck was dirty, I don't want your pizza, because I'm going to think that the pizza also dirty too, which it might not be. I'm just saying the delivery was all wrong. I think I speak for the people when I say I think we're tired of these rude judges. I mean, it kind of all started with Simon Cowell. He was just destroying people left and right. And now I think we feel as Christians some type of way when it's happening on a gospel thing, because it's like y'all need to be a little bit more nicer because you're supposed to be representing Christ. So I feel like that's where that comes from. But
well, like I said before, you can have an ideal, and what they're talking about is an ideal. We're supposed to be Christians. They're supposed to be Christ like at all times. That's nice. That's a great idea, and it's a great ideal to strive to. But at the end of the day, the reality is they don't. The reality is that it's cutthroat. The reality is this is the industry, and you're going to have thick skin. You're going to have to be accustomed to the fact that you're going to face embarrassment and critiques and ignorance and all that good stuff, and you're going to have to let all of that roll off of you. If Obama responded to every person who was ignorant to him, would he be president right now? No. So you know what I mean? That's my first point. My second point is you want to make it in the gospel music industry. You have no foot in the door yet. You're standing in front of 3 gospel legends and 1 current gospel hitmaker. 3 gospel legends and Yolanda Adams, Donnie McClurkin, and Kim Burrell. And then 1 gospel hitmaker on her way to being a legend one day, and Kiara Sheard. You do not want to rub them the wrong way. Even if they did do something that you don't agree with, at the end of the day, they hold the keys to the city. So you want to get along, to go along. I don't know how I would say it. Whatever. If you want to make it, you want to make nice with them. You want to impress them. You don't want to rub them the wrong way. Bottom line, they are the gatekeepers. So you keep your mouth shut right now.
And you know, also the other thing is, even if he did feel that way, he does not have to go. Like you said, they're the gatekeepers, but then that kind of makes me think like, then they hold the fate of his career, and they don't. I'm just saying that's where my mind is going a little bit. They don't. What I'm saying is if first of all, he tried out many times. So didn't he try like mad times? Was that him? Yeah. So what I'm saying is, because we live in the world where social media is so prevalent, he could, maybe go a different route. If they were so if they were so repulsive to him, you can go on YouTube. You can upload your stuff on Vine. I mean, there's so many people who are getting Vine famous, YouTube famous. Pick a different route. They don't hold your fate. Yeah, they're rude, and yeah, he shouldn't have got buck with them, and they shouldn't have got buck with him. But at the same thing, like, they don't.
You throw away the opportunity if you want to. I wouldn't do it and say, "Oh, I think I'll just try my luck at YouTube." Of course you can, but if you have an opportunity like that and you throw it away just off of the strength that you just had an attitude about something, that's you acting in your youth. You're not wise at this point in time. And my third point was, these people are pastors. He was mainly coming at Kim Burrell and Donnie McClurkin. They are pastors. And you were talking to them any type of way, talking about, I don't like you and you need to get together, and you're cutting off Donnie McClurkin, Pastor Donnie McClurkin. These people are pastors, okay? Kim Burrell and Donnie McClurkin, they're both pastors. You have to show the office of pastor the honor that it is due. This is biblical. You have to give honor to where honor is due. Even if the person is dishonorable. You still have to respect the position that they're in and act accordingly, treat them accordingly. You know what I mean? If you want something biblical, look at David in the Bible, who, when he was dealing with King Saul, David did not disrespect King Saul, not one time, even though King Saul was trying to kill him. Why? Because he knew that King Saul was God's chosen, and he wasn't about to disrespect the position of being king. You know what I mean? And guess what? He let it go. He said, I'm gonna let God handle it, and God handled it. And guess what? David went on to do great things. You know what I mean? David was never in the wrong because of that. You know what I mean? When you mess with the order of God, sometimes all you do is mess your life up, even if you feel justified in telling people about themselves. You know what I mean? And not even just with pastors, but with people in authority, period. You know what I mean? It's a certain type of honor and respect that you show to people in authority. And if you don't show that respect, no matter whether you feel like they wronged you or not, as soon as you start disrespecting people, you're in the wrong, and it brings you down. Because whereas before, it might just be people owe you an apology and people owe you some good deeds, you know, to make up for what they did to you. When you do something wrong in retaliation, now you bring yourself down. You have to come back with your tail between your legs, apologizing to them. Just like if you watch the footage, they show footage of the guy. He came back and apologized to the judges, and guess what? The judges apologized to him too. Kim Burrell, Don McClurkin, they apologized to him, but notice he had to apologize to them too. And honestly, he did not do anything wrong when they were laughing at him. But once he responded to them laughing at him, that's when he got himself in the wrong. And I know that people on Facebook were saying, oh, well, you're putting them on pedestals. You're putting people on pedestals and stuff and letting them get away with stuff. No, you're not. What you're saying is, instead of me handling it, I'm going to let God handle it. And you're keeping yourself together. Because guess what? I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you from experience. Trust me, I know about feeling like you don't want to let people get away with hurting you. I used to have the attitude that, and I was notorious for this, for having the attitude of, I don't care who you are, what title you have, you are not going to do anything to harm me. You're not going to do anything to hurt me. You're not going to do me wrong. Because if you do, I'm going to retaliate with both barrels blazing. I'm coming hard at you. I don't care what your title is. I don't care who you are. I'm opening my mouth and I'm saying whatever comes out, and it'll make me feel better. That was my attitude. And guess what? That was an attitude that brought destruction to me. It always made me wrong, even when I thought I was right. And even when I was right to be hurt, you know what I mean? The way I responded always hurt me back. You know what I mean? I found myself yelling at pastors and arguing with pastors and arguing with teachers and arguing with CEOs and who else, you name it. I can name a bunch of stories, and all it did was make me burn bridges and miss opportunities, miss out on blessings that God had for me. And that's not what you want. Let God handle stuff when people do you wrong. That's my third and final point. Give honor where honor is due at all times. And like I said, people on Facebook, they were saying, you know, that I'm putting people on pedestals, number one. And number two, that, you know, when you get older, maybe you're saying this because you're young. No. Okay, yeah, I'm 29, but guess what? All I'm doing is echoing what my parents have been telling me for years, and I was hard-headed and did not listen. And guess what? I paid the price for not listening to them when I was 23 and 24 and 25. I'll give you an example right now. I'll be real honest with you. I'm always honest with my audience. Let me tell you something. Y'all remember how, if anybody who's listening to WEHA since it's been on the air for 5 years, they remember when it first started on WEHA 5 years ago, I was on WEHA doing my show and everything all the time. Then all of a sudden, I disappeared, and you ain't hear me doing my show on WEHA no more. And now, you know, I came back gradually over the years, got back to doing the show and everything. And the reason why I didn't have a show on WEHA for a little while is because at the end of the day, I wasn't giving honor where honor was due. I was being disrespectful and dishonorable. You know what I mean? When I first started at WEHA, I was 24 years old, and was it 24 or 23? 24. But you know how some people are mature at 24, but I was a very young 24, okay? A very young 24, a very young 25. And you start bucking and acting crazy, and you know, you get what you get. You know, I'm 29 years old. I got a wife now. I'm the head of my household and everything. I want me and my family to be blessed. I just want to do what's right. Now, at the end of the day, I'm tired of that young acting, retaliating, and bucking and all that good stuff. That ain't healthy at all. So, and I want to help somebody. I'm mature enough to admit my mistakes, and I hope that people learn from those mistakes. You know what I mean? I'll definitely. One thing about Super Steff is that I will never, ever, ever like shy away from talking about my mistakes if I know it'll help somebody. And I'm telling anybody out there who's listening to me, anybody under the sound of my voice who has an attitude problem against authority, you need to get that in check, or all you're gonna do is hurt yourself. And I'm telling you from experience, my peoples. You don't want to be in that position. And
you better be honest, Abe.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? You don't want to put yourself in that position, man. You want God to bless you. So no, he ain't have to go through all that. And all them people who's on the sidelines cheering him on like, yeah, you do that. I bet you they not going to get him a record deal. I bet you they not going to get him on Sunday Best. I bet you they ain't going to pay his bills. I bet you they ain't going to do none of that stuff.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I'm going to need for somebody to give him $600 because that's how much he needed to pay his rent, because he said he spent it. So why don't y'all give him that?
Oh, shit. I can't.
But that's all I have for today.
And shout out to everybody. And, hope everybody.
Yeah, shout out to the Facebookers because y'all give life.
Yeah, shout out to Kelvin Troy Johnson because he's the only person who had my he the only person who had my back on that, yo. He's the only person who had my back. So he was the only person who actually agreed with me there, saying that you got to give honor where honor is due when he should have kept his mouth shut. Like, so everybody else was like just rah, rah, rah. No, they wasn't mean. Everybody was respectful, but they all disagreed with me.
Yeah.
So, that's it for right now, and we're gonna get into some more music. Super Steff Mogrz playing It's Me.
And it's Morgz.
# gospel what you're listening to. Yeah.